Hello everyone, my name is Andy and welcome back as well for some of you. I hope you're having a wonderful day, whatever you're up to, and I hope you're keeping out of trouble as well. So for you guys, this should be Wednesday the 1st of February, the 1st of the Valentine's month. For me, it's Tuesday, the 31st of January. There's some lovely weather outside. It is a bit windy, so you might hear the roof rattle every now and again and the dog bark, but hopefully it won't be too much and it won't disturb the video too much neither. For those of you that are interested in Valentine's, there is some very inappropriate Valentine's Day cards on the website. They'll be up there for the next 7 days. I am working on some postage to improve the speed of postage time because I know I've only got second class Royal Mail on there at the moment, but I'm hopefully working on first class at the minute so I can turn them around a lot quicker for you all. Hopefully, fingers crossed, this video is available on YouTube. There should be a link in the description and you'll be able to follow me on YouTube if you want to. Give us a like, give us a subscription. It always helps the channel. It's much appreciated as well. First question is, has everyone got a cuppa? And amazingly, I've just said cuppa and not cooker this time. So hopefully no one was sat there with the cooker last week watching me and could smell gas, because there is an energy crisis going on at the moment and we don't want to waste any gas. Anyway, so this is the first video. Hopefully it's not too rough around the edges. You know, the artwork that's in it is about 20 hours long. Don't worry, I'm not going to make you sit and watch 20 hours of artwork. I can't talk that long. I'm struggling to do the 10-15 minutes that we're on at the moment. But yeah, there's 20 hours of artwork behind this piece. From the referencing, the designs, the trial, the errors, it's quite a lot of time. And then obviously with the recording, that takes it down to about an hour, hour and a half. And then we do some editing, which brings it down to about 30 minutes. And then we speed it up to hopefully somewhere between the 10 to 15 minutes mark. But hopefully, fingers crossed, it's not too rough around the edges and it looks quite smooth. And hopefully you'll enjoy the video. Okay, so the actual idea for the princess design came about accidentally when I accidentally stumbled across Ben and Holly's Little Kingdom on YouTube. I used to love watching that with my little lad when he was younger. I still do secretly enjoy watching it. Somewhere hidden amongst the thorny brambles is something very, very small. Yeah, I feel like that. Like that's been said to me once or twice before. But anyway, moving on to the sort of thing that we're looking for to help the imagination is references. I can't copy Ben and Holly because I would actually be getting done for breach of copyright. What we look at is references. We look at obviously Google, Pinterest, and other places just to get some ideas of like princesses and flowers and bees and all the bits and pieces. We're not looking to copy them, but we're looking to use them to influence what we're actually creating. So if we look at the flowers, for example, using both real images and cartoon versions as well to get an idea of the shape, the size of the leaves and the petals and how light falls on them as well and how the shadow contrasts against them. The one thing that you'll very rarely see me use is black to produce shade. It's often just a darker tone of the colour that we're using, because I only ever use black for areas where sunlight just simply does not touch. And the same works with light as well, using a lighter shade of the actual color to create a lighter contrast, and then only using pure white for where there's direct sunlight. As you'll see on the head of the flowers, that there's a couple of dots of pure white, and that's to indicate that there's pure light hitting the actual flowers. So the next part that I worked on was the bees. Same as the flowers, using references, real pictures, cartoon drawings to understand their shape, their form. One thing that I noticed is that bees have quite small wings compared to their body, and also that their bodies are really round. And when creating the actual artwork and colouring it in, is that I've used a really soft brush to create the shade and tone between the different layers of where there would be shadow. Working with the black, I've reduced the opacity down to half its strength, so that I have to apply multiple layers of black to get the actual tone that I want for the bees. So as we continue with the bees, one thing you'll notice is that I changed the shape of the mouth at one point. It goes from a smiley face to more of a shocked face. And this is to add a bit of humour to the actual drawing. The bees get shocked. I have absolutely no idea if a bee can get shocked. I know my dog gets shocked every time he passes wind and then looks at me to say, "That was that you?" But sometimes when you're doing some artwork and you move a bit further along the line, you look back and you don't really like what you've produced. You have to go back and re-edit it a little bit. Stepping away from art is a great thing to do as well from time to time. When you're looking at a screen for a long period of time, you kind of get a bit of tunnel vision. Either step away, have a cup of tea, take 10 minutes out, or move on to a different piece of the artwork. A good thing is to always do is to zoom in and out and actually change the horizon on it as well. So flip it backwards and forth just to see if it actually has the shape that you actually want, and just reset your eyes. Finally, the princess. I know I'm a little bit ahead of the video in terms of the commentary, but there's so much to talk about for the princess, because there's so many different types out there when you're looking for a reference, from the sorts of Princess Peach in Mario to more of a Disney type princess. The list is literally endless of the different types of princesses you can look for to get ideas. But one thing that I noticed was there was more of a traditional idea of what a princess should look like, in terms of like a Cinderella type of long wavy hair with a long dress. And I wanted to move away from that a little bit. So for the princess, I created a shorter dress with short hair, and that requires secondary referencing as well, because it's not just about drawing a princess and getting imagination from likes of Disney and places like that, but that dress, how does it fall? How does a short dress fall in terms of a long dress? How do we get the folds in the clothing and in the material? So we have to work with that and look at different references. And one thing that you'll see in the video is that I use a hard brush to create the lines in the folds of the hemline, and then I rub them out with a softer brush. And this is to give the shade a bit of transparency as we go from pure darkness, where the clothes will be folded over, to where the light actually hits the clothing. And then what you'll see me do afterwards is apply a lighter tone in a soft brush to actually highlight that there's light hitting the area of where the clothes have actually folded. Right, so onto the hair. Hair is something that I have struggled with for a long time. I don't mean just to grow it, because I've got none, but also to draw it. And that is because hair is very erratic. There's a lot of chaos behind hair. When we draw things and we produce artwork, we use a lot of shapes and symbols to create the artwork, so that we have a framework to work in. If you look at the flowers, it's very circular and oval shaped, and that's to bring order to chaos. Hair, just, you can't do that with hair, so you have to do a lot of practice, a lot of trial and error, look at a lot of references and a lot of other videos, get a variety of different sources for when you're producing them. For this piece of artwork, I've just gone really simple, and I've just done 2 bangs and then the main body of hair, which I've covered in a light brown, and then used the same method as I did with the dress of using a hard brush to add the shading area for tone, and then lighten those hardened areas up to give the transparency between the dark areas of shade and into light, and then just applying a light bit of tone onto the hair to add actual direct light. But hair is something that you will have to practice a lot, and there's so many different styles of hair, especially when you're drawing female hair. You can have long, short, middle, you can have fringes, partings, and there's a lot of variety out there, which we'll cover in the upcoming weeks as we go. Okay, so we're working on the final bits of the artwork now, working through the lips, the belt on the clothing as well, the eyes, and you'll notice that on the eyebrows, I actually do them twice. Once again, by zooming out and looking at it, I could assess that it was the wrong type of eyebrow to be using, especially as I'm using a closed eyelid and I'm not drawing an eye. Eyes are something I absolutely love drawing and love going into detail with them. We might even do a video on them at some point of just pure eyes, because I love to draw eyes, and it is like the gateway to the soul as I see them. From that point, we polish the artwork off, and we start downscaling the artwork as well. It's always better to draw your art a lot bigger on a computer and scale it down to a smaller size, and not work the other way, because if you work from a smaller piece and you want to expand it, you tend to get a lot of pixelation and a lot of blurring of the image as well. From it, the canvas size is roughly about 5,500 pixels by 5,500 pixels, working with 450 resolution, to be boring and technical, but that's the equivalent of about 14 centimeters by 14 centimeters, which is a sensible size to work with. For it, there is a bit of cheating that's gone on it in the video as well, because obviously what you'll see is me copy and paste a few of the bees so I didn't have to draw them as much, and the same with the flowers as well, because they were literally all working off the same one. But anyway, I hope you liked the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. They will get a bit better and a little bit more detail. Sometimes it's a bit hard to wonder what to talk about, but just a massive thank you from me for everyone who's got this far. Thank you for all the likes, thank you for the share, thank you for joining the group. Please keep liking the videos, please keep sharing it, because it really does help the channel grow, and hopefully we can start raising some money for some charity as well at some point as well. And yeah, the cushion that you'll see towards the end of the video will be on sale in the next few weeks, and if you are interested and you want to personalize it, just drop me a message when you do it, or when you order through the Etsy site, in the comments box when it's on there, and we'll get that sorted for you. But thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video, which will hopefully be a bit more of a mature content video. I'm going to do some work with some cups, because I've got loads of cups to work with as well. And so thank you and goodbye.